Live from the heart of the South Carolina Lowcountry. This is News 2 at 11.
Flash floods turn area streets into raging rivers tonight, and it all happened in a matter of minutes, stranding motorists and forcing people to head for higher ground. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Robinson.
And good evening. I'm Darla Rourke. Some parts of the Lowcountry are drying out after a stretch of thunderstorms tonight. Others aren't. We're getting reports that the crosstown in downtown Charleston is still flooded and that several cars have stalled out, causing traffic delays in that area. Now, earlier today, the combination of heavy rains and high tide created dangerous flash flooding for many drivers and pedestrians. Our Storm Team 2 team coverage begins with Andy Parati, who spent the afternoon surfing the streets.
Residents I talked to say it's some of the worst flooding they've ever seen downtown, even comparing the rain to tropical storm proportion, and even worse.
Even when we had Hugo, the water didn't come up over the curbs here. This is higher than Hugo.
It was no hurricane, but rains from the skies turned parks into water parks and roads into Rivieras.
This is like Venice right now. I feel like I need a gondola to get over to my vehicle.
Our News 2 truck is no gondola, but it did seem like we floated to her car.
Thank you.
Around 6 tonight, this is what Live Viper saw. Fast-moving thunderstorms, dropping more than 2 inches of rain in less than an hour. Although police say it's never a good idea to drive through standing water, many do. The result, many times, cars like this stranded, and so are their drivers.
When I first got here, it was probably down the bottom of the door. When I got out of my car, the water was probably about right there. Rushed in when I opened the door.
Your car just stopped?
Yeah, it's flooded. I had to get a tow truck or something.
He's not the only one stuck. The Crosstown, Ashley, and East Bay all saw their share of drivers and bikers who thought their wheels were waterproof. High tide hit about rush hour during the downpours. To prevent your car from getting flooded out on the way home, you may want to check out the tides if you live or work near the water. Now back to you.
All right, Andy, thank you. Well, the storm system seemed to come literally out of nowhere, dousing the Lowcountry with several inches of rain in seemingly no time at all. Storm Team 2 Chief Meteorologist Rob Fowler continues our team coverage tonight. And Rob, it's pretty cool. Viper has the power to look back as that system made its way through the area, and what it shows really is quite impressive.
Yeah, it really was, John. In fact, as you saw in Andy's report there, we kind of put Viper to tape and showed you what it looked like as these storms rumbled on through. But the question you may be asking, what happened tonight? Well, let's break it down to you this way. A lot of things came into play. We had a slow-moving front moving from the north to the south that helps to lift the air. That creates the clouds. That creates those thunderstorms. We also have light winds in the atmosphere, meaning these storms don't move very quickly. If you have stronger winds, faster winds, these storms will roll in and out. That did not happen today. When the storms got here, they kind of sat over the same area for quite a while. And you throw in the fact that the heaviest rain happened about the time of high tide tonight, which was just before 7 o'clock. And keep in mind now, we've got a full moon coming up, and typically when you have a full moon, you can have higher than normal tides. So the tide tonight was 6.8 feet. Downtown Charleston roughly 7 feet above sea level, so it doesn't take much for downtown to flood, even when it's not raining. But when you add the rain in there, obviously that is the problem. Speaking of rain, let's go to Storm Team 2. Live Viper also has the capability now of detailing how much rain has fallen. I want to zoom in on a couple of areas for you. Number one, right over the peninsula into Mount Pleasant. This area, according to Viper, saw as much as 4 to 6 inches of rain. In fact, we have an 8-inch rainfall total up around Allendale, McClellanville. Over the peninsula, about 6 inches. Again, Viper can look inside of the storm and guesstimate exactly how much rain has fallen. Officially here in Mount Pleasant, we picked up 2 inches at Channel 2, but we do know there were some areas that got a lot more than that, as you can see, according to the Viper rainfall totals. The big question is, will it happen again tomorrow? We'll let you know in the full forecast, John, coming up in just a few moments.
All right, Rob, we'll see you then. Now, you can certainly track weather along with us by heading to our website, countont2.com. And while you're there, you can get an hour-by-hour forecast.
In other news tonight, Charleston city leaders are developing a strategy to recruit a new chief of police. Yesterday, Chief Reuben Greenberg announced his retirement. A spokesperson with the mayor's office says the job description for Greenberg's replacement isn't finished yet. But we asked a council member what qualities he would like to see in the new chief.
If it were my decision, which it's not, if it were my decision, I would like to think that we would have someone surely with Southern roots, because I think the regional issues that we deal with are a little bit unique.
Mayor Riley will select Greenberg's replacement, and that process could take about 6 months. Now, we are still getting a lot of responses from you about Chief Greenberg's retirement. Tom Lufkin writes, the city and citizens of Charleston owe a debt of gratitude to Chief Greenberg. He created a peaceful and relatively crime-free city by working with the policemen and gaining their trust and confidence. His outstanding accomplishments far outweigh any controversial actions. And another viewer writes, the chief has done a great job overall. We've seen a great deal of positive changes since he became our chief. Keep sending us your opinions, and we will keep airing them. Just head to our website, countont2.com. City officials are one step closer to making a major change to the Marion Square Shopping Center downtown. Tonight, the City of Charleston Planning Commission approved a rezoning request for the shopping center on King and Calhoun Streets. The rezoning would change the 1 1/4 acre property from general business to urban commercial zoning, which allows for more residential units. The redeveloped Marion Square Shopping Center would include retail shops, office space, condominiums, and parking. Now, the Planning Commission's recommendation for approval now goes before Charleston City Council.
There are new developments tonight in the death of a former Marine recruit at Parris Island. The drill instructor charged in that case may face a full military trial. The investigating officer is recommending Staff Sergeant Nadia Lopez be court-martialed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that will happen. It's simply a request to the general of the base, who will ultimately have to make that decision. Lopez is charged in the death of 19-year-old Private Jason Tharp. He died in February after drowning in a training pool. Investigators say Lopez was the last instructor with Tharp before he died. A Moncks Corner nightclub is destroyed after an afternoon fire. It began around 12:30 at this structure on Highway 52 and Gilliard Road. Fire gutted the club and also damaged the Hair It Is salon. Several fire crews responded to the fire, including Goose Creek Fire and Whitesville Fire.
We're lucky enough that we have guys that work in other fire departments that during the time that they're off, they're hanging out at the station. And it definitely proved its work today. With those guys hanging out, we were able to make a quick entry and actually save one of the two businesses.
The salon will reopen for business early next week, but the club apparently is a total loss. In Berkeley County, rescue crews have recovered the body of a missing boater on Lake Moultrie. The body of 61-year-old Hugh Stallworth was found earlier this morning. Stallworth jumped out of his boat Sunday afternoon to save his wife, who had fallen in the water.
Across America tonight, protesters are holding candlelight vigils in honor of our troops overseas and to show their support for Camp Casey in Texas. Now, this is right outside the White House in Washington, D.C. Thousands of people attended tonight's candlelight vigil there. Now, Camp Casey is the nickname given to Cindy Sheehan's effort to speak with President Bush. She is vowing to stay outside his Crawford, Texas ranch until she gets a chance to talk with the president about the loss of her 24-year-old son, Casey, who died while fighting in Iraq. And tonight, about 70 protesters gathered in Marion Square in downtown Charleston to hold a candlelight vigil in honor of Cindy Sheehan and her efforts. They're just one of thousands of groups across the U.S. and the world holding vigils in hopes of bringing U.S. troops home. Organizers say it is a great way for people to have their voices heard.
It's time for us to join 1,500 cities across the country who are doing the same thing that we're doing today, and that is saying to the president, why are we there? Please talk to Cindy and bring our troops home safely.
And tonight's event was sponsored by Thinking People and MoveOn.org. The group plans to attend a nationwide rally in September.
In tonight's Iraq update, 3 coordinated car bombs shook the streets of Baghdad today. Those attacks designed for maximum damage. At this point, 43 are dead, 88 wounded. The first car bomb struck at a bus station. Then, as the wounded were dragging bodies away, another car bomb went off at the exit. 30 minutes later, a car bomb exploded in the nearby hospital, where many of the wounded were taken. So far, no one has claimed responsibility for these highly coordinated attacks. Anguish, anger, and tears mark the beginning of the end of Israel's 38-year occupation of the Gaza Strip. We want to show you a live picture tonight of the settlement in Gaza, a place about twice the size of Washington, D.C., and surrounded by Palestinians. Now, today, Israeli soldiers began removing Israeli citizens, all in the name of peace, but not all are going peacefully, and a night filled with raw emotions. This Israeli family believed they were commanded by God to live here, but now they're being forced out.
Where will you go now? We don't know. We have no house now.
Some 14,000 Israeli troops wasted little time clearing out 5 Jewish settlements in Gaza.
Unfortunately, it looks like my country is getting smaller and smaller.
But not everyone went without a fight. In the West Bank, a settler shot and killed 3 Arabs. This West Bank settler set herself on fire in protest. And a government minister was hit with an egg. In synagogues of the remaining settlements, the faithful called for a miracle. Outside, troops were cursed and taunted, and for most of the day, they stood and took it. But getting physically attacked was simply too much. And moments later, "Don't touch me," she screams. "I'm a woman. Let me stay." Her anguish is shared by many soldiers who agree with the settlers, but say they're simply following orders. Here, a soldier comforts a sobbing settler. Then the soldier breaks down in tears and collapses. Now the settler confronts the soldier. They're old friends. It's a nation torn and in pain, and there's little comfort as they begin a new life somewhere else. Today was the first day of forcible evacuations from Gaza following a 2-day grace period during which settlers were given a chance to leave voluntarily. The withdrawal is said to be moving faster than expected, but is still far from being completed.
And still to come on News 2 at 11, a nationwide effort is underway to make your child's school vending machine healthier.
Need to be setting better examples, and schools need to be practicing what they preach in their health classes.
Coming up, a closer look at the new school beverage guidelines and how schools can get in on these changes.
Plus, if you missed any of the opening celebrations for the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge, we've got some very good news for you. How you can catch the amazing fireworks show and the bridge dedication again in the comfort of your own living room. That and more coming up after Rob's forecast.
This is Storm Team 2 weather with Chief Meteorologist Rob Fowler.
Well, downtown has the crosstown. Mount Pleasant has Coleman Boulevard near Moultrie Middle School. If you've ever driven down this road in a heavy rain, you know it also has a tendency to flood. Look at that whirlpool that is, as the water was trying to be sucked into the drain. These cars driving right through, slowing down hopefully and taking it easy on those wet roads. We had over 2 inches of rain falling very quickly here east of the Cooper. Well, the forecast for tonight continues to show a chance of rain. Not much going on though now. Some fog, 75 inland, 79 along the beaches. Tomorrow I think we'll see a little cooler weather. We also will see some more showers and thunderstorms, and just like today, some of these could be heavy and they could be slow moving. Easterly wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow night, a lingering shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures between 74 inland and 78 near the water. It's clear though now, 77 degrees. Humidity 94%. The wind is calm. That means we've got good fog making conditions going on as we speak. Take a look at Storm Team 2 Live Viper. It's been very busy through the afternoon and early evening, but now things have really quieted down. But the reason we're going to keep some rain in the forecast is what you see up across Orangeburg County, also in Upper Dorchester County. Even though this area is shrinking, it is kind of holding together somewhat, moving down to the southeast. Just some light rain, Monk's Corner down the road, maybe Somerville as well. Also watching some rain showers and thunderstorms offshore. And actually, this comes into play because the actual front causing the rain earlier today is sitting right off of our coast, and that will come into play, a weather maker, tomorrow as well. So what happened today? Let's run it down very quickly for you again. Slow-moving front lifted the air, creating clouds and rain. Light winds means those rain showers are moving very slowly. The heaviest rain happened at high tide about 7 o'clock this evening. And don't forget, when you've got the earth, the moon, and the sun all lined up to create a full moon, you get extra gravitational pull. That means the tides are higher and the tides are lower. Today, the tide close to 7 feet. Downtown Charleston, roughly only 7 feet above sea level. Here's the front we're talking about, sitting right on top of us now. On one side, you've got some cooler, less humid air. On the other side, we know it's hot and humid. That's where we've been. And right along this front, these air masses collide, creating those showers and thunderstorms that we saw for today. But at least for the moment, most of the rain here in eastern South Carolina has dissipated, but still very strong upstream. And again, we'll keep an eye on this area as some of that energy moves in tomorrow and creates more showers and thunderstorms. 76 at the Capitol now, 77 in Charlotte. Temperatures pretty uniform in the mid to upper 70s now. Around the low country, Kingstree 78, Goose Creek 77, Georgetown also at 77 degrees. So what can you expect tomorrow? Warm and humid as the front comes through again. A few degrees cooler with showers and thunderstorms. Still, we'll see a heat index 100 or just a little bit above. It will be higher, though, in Beaufort and Jasper counties. Low 90s for tomorrow and Friday if you're heading out to Sertoma tomorrow to check out some high school football. Also on Saturday, a chance of rain. Hey, got to quickly mention our good friend Dr. Joe McClellanville called in, said, Rob, 2.1 inches of rain. Most of that fell in 30 minutes time, so it was coming down today.
Yeah, heavy rain and high tide. Bad combination, too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, if you missed any of our Bridging the Future coverage, now is your chance to see it again. This Saturday, you can join News 2 for the first high-definition special. From the fireworks to the opening ceremonies, you can catch the new bridge opening celebrations all over again. The special airs Saturday night at 7 on our digital channel, WCBD-TV 2.1, or in standard definition on News 2. And I kind of cheated. I saw a little bit of it tonight. It looks great. I'm really excited about it.
Looking forward to seeing it. Well, still to come on News 2 at 11, if you're a parent of a Charleston County or Berkeley County student, listen up. How you can get a list of underperforming schools that your child can transfer from and where you can send them to, up next in our school report.
But first, here's a look at the numbers today on Wall Street. The Dow is up 37 points to 10,550. NASDAQ rose 8 points to finish at 2137. And the S&P 500 is up nearly a point to end at 1,220.
Storm.
Topping tonight's school report, more than 8,000 letters are being sent out to parents of middle and high school students to let them know they can transfer their children out of underperforming Title I schools. In Charleston County, students can transfer from 6 middle schools, including Morningside, Hot Gap, Burke Middle, Brentwood, Alice Burney, and Schroeder. Transfers are available from 5 high schools: North Charleston, Lincoln, Burke, Baptist Hill, and St. John's. And for a complete list of schools students can transfer to in Charleston County, you can head to our website, counton2.com. You will also find a list of choice option schools for Berkeley County and the schools where students can transfer.
Well, vending machine options may be changing in your child's school. The American Beverage Association now has released a new set of voluntary guidelines on school vending machines. The policy limits the types of beverages that can be sold in schools, and since the policy is voluntary, it will be up to individual schools to decide whether or not to adopt it.
All right, Clark. So is he or is he not on the team?
Yeah, what's up with Corey Boyd and the Gamecocks?
We do know when the bell rings he'll be in class, and that's for sure, or for shizzle. But when the 2001 starts flaring, will Boyd be behind the quarterback? I'll tell you next in Count on 2 Sports.
Covering sports you care about. Count on 2 Sports with Brendan Clark.
Those Atlanta Braves better hope to get a huge lead on their opponents because their bullpen ain't doing their job. Blew another 9th inning lead late last night. The Dodgers Braves have turned the field again tonight. Been a while for Andrew Jones, but the league leader in home runs hits number 38 in the 5th. 4-0 Braves. 2 batters later, fan favorite Jeff Francoeur, the hometown boys. Kid is legit. A 2-run shot. Braves are up 6-0. They win 10-2. No bullpen needed. That's a good thing. First Baptist football will put 11 men on the field this week for the Sertoma Classic, and that's the last time you see that many kids out there. And as Justin Wallace tells us, here's why.
Jog back. First Baptist football has slimmed down this season, somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 pounds on offense and 600 pounds on defense. But it's not fat that's been trimmed, it's players. Down from 11-man to 8-man football because the numbers just aren't there.
We've pretty much been practicing with 15 kids since August 1st. And we just knew when we look at liability and health standpoint for our kids, we had to take it into consideration.
It's certainly going to be an adjustment for First Baptist this season, moving from 11 to 8-man football, but that's not the biggest problem. The biggest issue this year is finding other teams to play.
That's the biggest piece right now that's been a setback for us, is because most of the 8-man schedules in Skeeza has already been set with 11-game schedules. I'm willing to go wherever we need to go to sacrifice for them and make this as fun a season as we possibly can.
8-man football will hopefully be an experience that lasts just 1 year.
We have every intention to get back to 11-man football, and we'll take the right steps for First Baptist to get back to that next year.
With the Canes on James Island, Justin Wallace, Count on 2 Sports.
The Sertoma Classic, by the way, begins tomorrow night, runs through Friday. All the action begins at 7 o'clock on both nights. We'll be there live. Practice reports from both Clemson and Carolina. Tigers had their second practice of the day canceled because of weather, but in the morning during the scrimmage, running back Reggie Merriweather broke off a 70-yard run. Touchdown. Columbia, weather also hampered practice when Steve Spurrier called pretty spirited. Sidney Rice, who broke a finger, should be back practicing next week. And finally, an update on USC running back Corey Boyd. Suspended from the team because of drug use, Boyd back in Columbia, will report to classes tomorrow, but will not practice with the team. Spurrier saying Boyd will not practice with the team until the start of the season at the earliest. And you know what? They could use them. Because they got freshman guys back there now, and they need some experience.
Yeah, let's hope they get him back. Yeah. He does the right thing. All right, Brendan, thanks a lot.
Thanks. All right, coming up, Rob's got another look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Tony Rodriguez, General Sales Manager at Century, and we're talking savings. Today, we got this 05 Century for just $12,997. 05 LeSabre, $14,997. 05 Pontiac Grand Am, $11,995. How does Century do this? Stay tuned.
Foundation failure.
Weather quieting down tonight, but firing right back up tomorrow in the afternoon. About 90 with showers and thunderstorms. Same on Friday. Still a chance of rain this weekend, but still hot.
All right, get used to it, I guess, huh?
5-day forecast is about the same.
All right, thanks, Rob. Thanks for watching.
Have a great night.